On to you, Sagittarius. So you have the Four of Swords, the Judgment, the Knight of Wands, the Sun, the Chariot, the Moon, Three of Swords, the Death card, the Knight of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords. So for you, Sagittarius, I see that there is no going back to some sort of relationship that you had before, right? The Four of Swords, pretty much the entire top row is all about something is put to sleep. Something is put to an end. Not going back to the same way that you used to actually interact with others. The Four of Swords, the Four of Swords is a transition card, right? It represents funerary rites, basically, right? In most decks. And the Judgment, right? The Judgment represents funerary rites as well. The Judgment represents the soul being lifted into the afterlife, right? So a lot of putting to sleep something. Some of you could have had someone that made the transition physically, and that changed a lot of you. It inspired a lot of you, Sagittarius, to actually be better, well-rounded people. You may have, like I said, you may have had to deal with some form of person that physically made the transition very recently. The Knight of Wands represents how, this person was very outgoing. This person was very energetic. They may have even have been a fire sign themselves. But, they've made that transition now. And the Sun, these are people that could most definitely been the apple of your eyes, right? Some family member or friend. It could even be a loved one as far as romantic is concerned, right? Making that level of transition it's very difficult for you, Sagittarius, to pretty much wrap this around your mind that this person could potentially be gone. Because I'm just seeing a lot of cards that represent making that transition. The Four of Swords, the Judgment, the Death card of itself. Then you have playing in a field, right? Because playing in a field, right, in movies can represent making that transition, if you know what I mean, right? Symbolically. So and then you have the Chariot, okay, which represents how some of you Sagittarius may look at it like life is not necessarily cruel. Now if that doesn't necessarily mean, I mean, I'm seeing it means that someone's made the transition physically, but if that doesn't mean that someone that has made the transition physically, then it means that that's what it feels like. It feels like your separation from this person. It feels worse than that physical transition, and the Moon represents, the emotional just carnage of not having these people there anymore. That's what I'm trying to say. Not having these people anymore, right? And all of these cards are showing me transition, physical transition. Somebody physically, you had to go to their funeral, or you got to start planning for it. Some sort of serious loss that a lot of you Sagittarius have had to deal with. If you're not going through a physical loss where the person and you physically if the person isn't there anymore, if you know what I mean, then I'm just seeing how it really does feel like it, right? You Sagittarius, from the perspective of you didn't go through, you didn't have someone go through a physical transition, that it means that you Sagittarius, you really do feel like that, because just that goes to show you just how much that person really meant to you. And they betrayed your trust in a huge way that causes Three of Swords. It causes a lot of pain. It causes a lot of loss, a lot of hopelessness, a lot of, the idea that you'll never actually be able to get back up. You'll never actually be able to get it going again. And then the Death card represents how a lot of you Sagittarius understand that that's not really true. Because there's definitely life after that transition, whether it's physical, right? For everyone involved, right? For them in the non-physical right? There's the afterlife. There's you. Your life has to go on. Even if the person didn't make physically, there's no one that actually made the transition. And it represents life after a relationship of a divorce or, some sort of serious big breakup. I'm saying that it's big, right? A divorce, or you really had love in your heart for this person. Like I said, it feels like that. And now a lot of you Sagittarius have to make that adjustment. You have to actually live your life, not having these people that you thought of as so important. You probably still do, especially considering that it's fresh. You don't have to have these people anymore. So now it's like there's so much big changes happening for you Sagittarius. It's like, how, where exactly, it's almost like you don't know what to do. It's like, where exactly do you go from here, right? Because you really had love in your heart for this person. And the Knight of Pentacles represents, as life goes on, you will become, what it's saying is that, because I don't want to be insensitive, right? I don't want to be insensitive, but what it's trying to say is that as life goes on, it will hurt a lot less, okay? It won't be as fresh as it is right now. I'm not trying to be insensitive, right? I'm not trying to say anything super disrespectful or people take as disrespect. I'm just trying to relay a message here. So then you have the Queen of Swords, okay? And the Queen of Swords represents, so what does this mean, right? So the Queen of Swords, right? The Queen of Swords represents how your mind has to be sharp, especially at around this time, because you know, if you Sagittarius are going through any kind of discomfort, any kind of pain, you have to be very careful of this, because some people, unfortunately, they will try to take advantage and they'll try to get in good with you as far as, have you give them a place to stay, right? Because I've said this before, like, as much as I love Sagittarius, y'all could be a zodiac sign that can get caught up in some stuff with people that you really don't have any business getting caught up in. But the person told you that they liked you. The person told you that they loved you. And a lot of you Sagittarius took a leap of faith with these people. And then the next thing you know, you end up getting in a situation where it's like you with this crazy in this crazy situation that it's going to take time to get out of and time to rebuild or recover from, because you were in that messed up situation. So now is the time for you Sagittarius to be wise. Don't mess with anybody right now. I don't suggest, just to be fair to you, don't mess with anybody. Don't rock with anybody. Don't be in a relationship with anybody. Be by yourselves. Be in a situation where you are by yourselves. That way no one can get that kind of a hold on you or grasp on you to where they can start telling you, even having a chance to fill your head up with some nonsense, right? Because right now, especially when you go through a lot of pain, a lot of transition, you do have some people, right, that will try to take advantage of this and get in good while they're getting in this good while you heartbroken. So let's clarify some of these cards. Let's clarify the Death card. You have the Four of Pentacles, the Seven of Wands, the Three of Swords, and then you have the Ace of Pentacles. So again, the Four of Pentacles, the Seven of Wands, to clarify the Death card. Let's go right there, right? This is about, then you have the Three of Swords. The Seven of Wands represents, this will be a little bit of work, right? Three of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, but you will move past this, whether someone physically made the transition or whether you and this person went through a divorce or some sort of big breakup. Life goes on, and like I said, this is clarification. Eventually, you Sagittarius will live your lives. You will move forward from this, and you will get better, okay? Even though it doesn't look like it, your life isn't always going to be like this, right? It's just that right now, I've said this before, we're going through a full moon in Cancer energy that's lasting supposedly for about 3 weeks. I don't know the transitions of these planets in that regard, every single transition that happens. I just know what I know. You know what I mean? and I'm looking to find out more. But the Cancer crab's energy represents the matters of the heart and internal nourishment. What it is that you need internally to feel secure, emotional security. So a lot of you, I almost said Gemini, but Gemini is the opposite sign of Sagittarius. But you Sagittarius are going through a time right now where you're going through a lot of transitions, not just physical ones, but spiritual ones as well, because the universe is teaching y'all how to not be so wild. Y'all could still be a stallion and all of that. But again, I've said this before and I'm gonna say it again, there's no such thing as a tame horse. So it's not like being all over the place and crazy is a good thing, right? It can be in certain cases, but you have to learn to even control that. But a lot of you Sagittarius are going through a time period right now where it's very difficult for you. I'm not even gonna lie. A lot of things that may break your heart may occur, but a lot of you Sagittarius have to understand that you're going through a time, like I said, where the universe is showing you how to grow up, right? The wild, not knowing what's going on, being confused, that energy got to stop. Because if it doesn't, it could cause some serious, it can be a detriment to you Sagittarius in the future. More of a detriment to you closer to home than what it is right now if you're not paying attention to this transition. So that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Peace.